Pettit's Trinidad bottom paints have been slaying fouling for over 50 years, and it recently got some new tech. Pettit's Trinidad XSR is a hard, triple biocide anti-fouling bottom paint so effective, it's downright scary. Pettit Paint. Fear no fouling.
Welcome. I'm Tom Malero, Vice President of Marketing for Pettit Paint. I want to thank you all for joining us today. We are very excited to present this year's Halloween live stream focused on our best-selling line of anti-fouling paints called Trinidad. In addition to going through our Trinidad offering, this is also an Ask the Expert live stream, which means we will go through a good portion of the 100 or so questions we received since our e-blast last Wednesday. Now, if you'd like to be added to our e-blast list, please PM us your email address during or after the live stream. Without further ado, let's talk Trinidad. So, Trinidad has been around for over 50 years. It's one of the best and most well-known brands in the marine industry. Being around for over 50 years means that there's been many versions of Trinidad throughout the years. Actually about 15 of them, and we have arrived to what I believe is our best offering ever. Currently, we have 4 versions of Trinidad available. I'd like to say we have a Trinidad for every vessel or budget. The most recently added Trinidad, Trinidad XSR, is also a contributor to Pettit winning Sounding Trade Only's Most Innovative Marine Company of the Year award last year. More on Trinidad XSR later. Now, you may be asking yourself at the other end of this camera, why are there 4 different Trinidad products? If you aren't familiar with Trinidad, you may also be asking, what does Trinidad do? What's the basis of Trinidad's technology? So, let's go through that. The active ingredient in this case has historically been cuprous oxide. Cuprous oxide would leach out of the paint film while it stayed mostly intact. Leaching paints must be repainted after dry storage. Traditional leaching paints do not require movement or work equally as well at the dock or underway. These products should be well sanded prior to recoating to prevent excessive buildup. These paints are best for sailboats or slow-moving vessels, vessels that are parked for extended periods of time, vessels in high fouling areas, vessels in the water for 18 to 24 months at a time between haul-outs, and vessels that need to be cleaned by a scrubber due to the environment. These paints traditionally have been used from the Mid-Atlantic down to the Southeast and over to California and in the aggressive fouling waters of the Caribbean. Historically, Trinidad products have only used cuprous oxide, which is purple in color. This can lead to duller or more muted colors. Cuprous oxide is not safe for aluminum, which can cause an issue in some cases. Now, our new Trinidad XSR uses a mixture of 3 biocides, of which are mostly white, and allow us to make much cleaner and crisper colors. The copper used in this product is called copper thiocyanate. Copper thio is safe for properly primed aluminum, which is a great benefit to serve vessels in high fouling areas where they couldn't get a premium quality Trinidad product previously. So now you're left with, what's the difference between this and an ablative? We're going to go through that. Ablatives prevent buildup as they wash away like a bar of soap. However, they require constant movement as well as a fair amount of speed to clean or polish adequately. Trinidad hard paints, they just work. No need for a certain amount of speed, no need for consistent movement. Trinidad products work at dock or underway, with the only drawback being that they build up over time. Now, all right, you've got the background on Trinidad's tech and how it differs from ablatives. Let's chat on the 4 different products. Trinidad HD is the entrance into the Trinidad family. You'll find this product to offer great features and benefits such as fast dry technology. What that means is you can paint and launch the same day. It has a high copper content of over 53%, which is effective in most waters from coast to coast. It's a hard, durable finish, which is great for professional cleaners to maintain without wearing through, and is covered by our 18-month HD Hull Defense Limited Warranty. Trinidad HD is available in black, blue, red, and green. Next up for us is Trinidad 75. Trinidad 75 is the next level of Trinidad. Trinidad 75 has all the features and benefits of the previously mentioned Trinidad HD, but boasts a 60% copper content. This formula was derived from our previous proven standard Trinidad formula, which was available for many, many years. This product isn't widely available on a retail shelf, as this is highly preferred by our boat yards, but it surely can be available by request. This product is also available in black, blue, red, and green. Next up is our Trinidad Pro. Trinidad Pro is simply the longest lasting, strongest, high copper anti-fouling paint available. Trinidad Pro features all the features and benefits of Trinidad 75, but has the industry's leading 65% cuprous oxide. When you're in aggressive fouling waters and it seems that barnacles can form in minutes, let alone the weeks in other harbors, protect your vessel with Trinidad Pro. Trinidad Pro has been around for many, many years due to its reliability and proven formula. Trinidad Pro is loved by applicators and boat yards alike. This product can be found at fine boat yards and retailers around the country. This product is available in black, blue, red, and green as well. Now let's learn a little bit about Trinidad XSR.
The next generation of hard anti-fouling bottom paint is here. Introducing Pettit Paint's Trinidad XSR. Trinidad XSR offers extreme anti-fouling protection in all waters, against all growth, and for every boat and every substrate. Trinidad XSR is even safe for aluminum and all underwater metals. Trinidad XSR's triple biocide package leverages high concentrations of echinacea, ZPT, and copper thiocyanate for extreme anti-fouling protection. Backed by Pettit Paint's HD Hull Defense Limited 24-month warranty, Trinidad XSR offers the ultimate in peace of mind protection. Nothing beats Trinidad XSR.
Welcome back. As you can see in the video, Trinidad XSR is the new standard by which hard bottom paints are measured. Trinidad XSR delivers exceptional tribiocide performance by combining the highest levels of copper thiocyanate, echinacea, and zinc pyrithione in the industry. This combination makes Trinidad XSR effective against all types of fouling while significantly reducing the overall environmental impact through less copper. Trinidad XSR not only reduces the amount of copper used, but provides significantly better performance overall through new biocide technology. We are so confident, and Trinidad XSR has proved it so effective that Trinidad XSR is covered by our upgraded HD Hull Defense 24-month limited warranty. Trinidad XSR is available in black, blue, red, and green as well, and is becoming more readily available. Now, why do I say that? This product was launched April of this year, but has been challenged by its availability. Simply, it was so popular, we just had a very hard time keeping up with production. We have ramped up production significantly and are now making much larger batches to meet the high demand for Trinidad XSR. Now, you've heard me talk about our 4 very popular, very effective Trinidad bottom paints. As you can see, with 4 different formulations, from straight copper formulations of 53, 60, and 65%, to our new triple biocide Trinidad XSR, there's a Trinidad for almost every boater and every budget. Now let's shift gears and head over to our Ask the Expert segment. As mentioned earlier, over 100 questions were submitted. Many were multiples or similar questions, so we have combined them down to about 30-ish questions, which we're about to cover. So the first question came from Joy in Connecticut. What is the best paint for pontoon boats put in the ocean? That's a great question. So Eco HRT is the perfect product for pontoons. It's a dual biocide, copper-free product at a very attractive price tag. Eco HRT is proven and works extremely well on aluminum pontoon boats in Connecticut. If you ever boated in Florida, I'd suggest our Odyssey Triton instead due to the aggressive fouling waters in Florida, but for Connecticut, Eco HRT is perfect. Next up for us, Kaylee H. from New Jersey. Is Pettit Tough Coat thick enough to hide imperfections? Great question. The answer is yes. Tough Coat builds to 35 mils of thickness, which is thicker than a credit card. If you have a beat up deck or swim platform, Tough Coat can easily improve the aesthetics while improving safety. Brooks from South Dennis. I have kept a boat in Bass River, Massachusetts for 25 years. I've used Pettit Hydrocoat on the bottom in the running gear for at least the last 10 years with good results. This year, after 6 months in the water, after pulling the boat out, the running gear was absolutely covered in 1 inch thick of rock hard, white bone type of marine growth. What paint do I need to use on the running gear to stop heavy growth on my running gear? Now, Brooks, I'm sorry to hear you had the challenge, but this is a very common question, especially this time of year when boats are getting pulled. Fouling that significant after years of trouble-free protection sounds to me like you have a dissimilar metal corrosion issue, probably something like electrolysis. For us to further diagnose this possible problem, you could send us photos at marketing@pettitpaint.com. But a quick little diagnosis here, I would strip everything down on the running gear, get down to bare metal, and I'd use our Running Gear Guardian. Running Gear Guardian has a zinc-rich primer that comes in the kit, and that'll provide excellent adhesion to the metals while providing a sacrificial layer in the case that this is a corrosion issue, as I believe it is. The anti-fouling top coat will keep all the nasty slime and barnacles and other critters off the coatings. It's the perfect product for running gear. That would be my solution. Next up, George from New Bern, North Carolina. How many coats of anti-fouling paint should be applied to an aluminum-hulled sailboat motoring speed at 8 knots for multi-year performance? So, George, it really depends on the product you are using and where you boat. Seeing you're in North Carolina, I'd actually recommend Trinidad XSR, and I'd recommend at least 2 coats to start with. I might even suggest a signal coat. For those of you who may not know what a signal coat is, essentially, if you've got red on the bottom now, and you put black over top of it, when you start to wear through the black, you start to see the red, you know it's time to recoat. It does a few different things. It prevents you from recoating prematurely, and actually tells you the amount of time it takes for you to wear through a coat. So I would suggest a signal coat. Along with Trinidad XSR, you'd also have a 24-month warranty with the Trinidad XSR. All right, let's pop on over to the next question. Steve from Langhorne, Pennsylvania. What's the best anti-fouling outdrive paint for saltwater? Follow-up question, can you use anti-fouling paint that's designed for aluminum boat bottoms as well? Steve, yes. You can use copper-free or copper thiol-based products that are typically used on the hull for your outdrive. The very best outdrive paint we offer would be our triple biocide Odyssey Triton or Trinidad XSR, should it be primed properly. But since you're boating in Pennsylvania, our Eco HRT would absolutely pass the test for sure. Next up, Cassandra from Patchogue, New York. I understand you're now offering caulks. Which one would you recommend to install a drain plug? Cassandra, it's a wonderful question. I'd recommend our AnchorTech Premium Fast Dry Adhesive Sealant to install that drain plug. It's 100% waterproof and can be used below the waterline, as it can also be bottom painted. Jim from Falmouth, Massachusetts. Will this new bottom paint Trinidad XSR last more than a year? Absolutely. Trinidad XSR is a multi-season, multi-year paint in many circumstances. The product is also covered by our 24-month HD hull defense warranty. So that'd be a perfect product for you. Jessica from Bellingham, Washington. Do you offer a PPG ABC3 anti-fouling alternative? Jessica, we certainly do. We actually offer many that can compete or outperform that product based on your boating budget. At the lower end of the boating budget, we can offer our Odyssey HD. It's a 45% copper product, and of course, if it's within your boating budget, we also offer Odyssey Triton. That product, as we mentioned earlier, is a triple biocide formula that's an ablative, which is effective on all growth and has our 24-month warranty. If you want to go over that product you're currently using, power wash or give it a scuff sand, clean the hull and put the Odyssey Triton or Odyssey HD over top of it. Okay. Next up is Jeff from Raleigh, North Carolina. What is the square footage of Hydrocoat? That's an easy one. Hydrocoat covers 500 square feet per gallon. So to give you reference, that's about the coverage needed for the hull of a 30-foot sailboat or a 30-foot powerboat. Dave D. from Brick, New Jersey. Where can I buy Pettit products? It's a wonderful question. If you go on our website, pettitpaint.com, we have the option to click where to buy. You can put your zip code in there and it will locate the closest boatyard or retailer based on your zip. There's also a handy map in there for helpful navigation. Manuel P. from Portsmouth, Rhode Island. How long will prop coat barnacle barrier last? 1 or 2 seasons, or should it be done every year? So, Manuel, we offer multiple solutions for prop coatings. One is our prop coat barnacle barrier. That is a seasonal coating that needs to be repainted when the vessel is hauled for the season or for maintenance. Now, if you want to go for multiple seasons, we also offer our Running Gear Guardian, which is a significant upgrade in terms of longevity and performance. If you already have prop coat on the running gear, just scuff it, sand it well, and apply 1 coat of Running Gear Guardian primer and then 2 coats of the top coat. You'll be very happy with the results. Jeff from Washington Township. When will you come out with a water-based exterior enamel? So Jeff, that's a great question. Unfortunately, I don't have a great answer. We have yet to find an exciting formula in this segment. Hopefully in the years to come, we'll keep you posted. Brian from Olympia, Washington. He's interested in learning more about replacing barrier coat. Now, Brian, I emailed you back on this one. If you could please provide us some more clarity. Typically, barrier coat doesn't need to be replaced as long as it's well adhered. Usually all you need to do is just scuff it and repaint it. If you'd like, shoot me an email, marketing@pettitpaint.com, or a comment below, and we can answer your question live right now. If you're really looking to replace it, or if you're just looking to overcoat it, let us know. Next up, Phil from Baldwin, New York. Is it okay to use your bottom paint over another manufacturer's bottom paint? Absolutely, our paint is the best at doing that. I'm just kidding. But yes, you can put our product over somebody else's. But the most important thing here is matching the technology. So what do I mean by that? Is if you have an ablative on there currently, you only want to put on another ablative, okay? You cannot put a hard over an ablative. Now, you could also put an ablative over a hard, but again, you can't do vice versa. So if you have an ablative, put an ablative on top. If you have a hard paint, you can put a hard paint or an ablative over top of that with no problem. So hope that answers your question. AJ from Brooksville, Maine. Can Pettit marine paints be used on a fiberglass front house door for durability? Absolutely. If you're going to use our easy epoxy or our varnishes like Flagship Varnish, some people do that if they're trying to stain the fiberglass or make it look like a faux wood. Just remove the door, clean and remove any failed coating, scuff sand and apply our product in a very well ventilated area. Outdoors is the preferred place. And of course, marine paints are far better than other paints, so that's a great application. Just make sure you're being safe and do it outdoors. Oscar A. from San Diego, California. I boat around San Diego. Which Trinidad paint would you recommend? So that's a great question. We've had an excellent history with our Trinidad HD bottom paint in California. I believe you'd be very pleased with it. Trinidad HD has a very nice copper content. It's very durable, great product for scrubbing, and that's exactly what you're looking for in California. So Trinidad HD. Next up is CP from Rochester, New York. Do you foresee a product from Pettit that will rival VC17? So CP, this is a very common question with a very long answer. I hope you've got the time. Honestly, the technology in that product is good, but it's very old school. It's been the same tech for many, many years, and it's okay. But we believe we have proven that our Black Widow racing anti-fouling paint is far superior in many different ways. One, fouling. We have a dual biocide formula that's effective on both hard and soft growth. Two, We have not one, not two, not three, but we've got 4 slickening agents in our product compared to just the 2 in the other product. Our coating is multi-season, so no need to paint every year. And our product's available in black and dark blue, which are far more modern and nicer colors that accent today's boats rather than, say, the copperish look that you find in that previous coating. Yes, there is some prep to switch over. You'll need to remove the previous coating. The good news is that coating is so thin it's very quick and easy to do so. Essentially, if you solvent wipe it very well, sand it with 80 grit, solvent wipe it again, then you could pretty much, if you want, you could prime it, or you could just go ahead and paint the Black Widow onto the surface. So we'd actually recommend Black Widow instead of more of that traditional technology. Next up, Tom Z from Elira, Ohio. Do I need any special prep to change from Pettit Eco HRT solvent-based paint to using Pettit Hydrocoat Eco water-based paint on my aluminum boat? Tom, that's the beauty of water-based coatings. There is no special prep required. All you have to do is pressure wash the Eco HRT well, then you can apply the Hydrocoat Eco right over the top. No problem at all. Lawrence from Somerville, Massachusetts. How many applications of bottom paint can be applied before the bottom must be stripped and sanded? I think we had a couple, this was a very popular question. So Lawrence, it depends on the coating. Hard paints can hang on longer, usually 20 to 25 mils of dry film thickness, which is usually 6, 7, or 8 coats of paint. Ablative paints are a bit more sensitive to buildup. They kind of hang in there 15 to 20 mils, which could be 3 to 5 to 6 coats of paint depending on the coating and how it gets applied every year. 3/8 nap roller puts on quite a bit of paint. So, but a lot of this is also relative to prep. If you sand well between coats of both or either hard or ablative paints, you're actually removing mill thickness year over year, and that will extend the intervals of stripping. If you don't prep well, then these are kind of the numbers you can expect. Okay. Next up, it looks like there was no name on this one. This one came from Brewster, Mass. Is Odyssey Triton White better protection than Vivid White? And the follow-up was, I'm disappointed in slime growth, but only want white multi-season paint. The boat's on a mooring and trailers. Okay. So let's just go over a couple things first. So a white bottom paint in dirty water can only stay white for so long. It's just the nature of the beast. Also, just the slightest amounts of slime on white will really appear much worse than it really is. Now, Vivid White is a fantastic product that works extremely well. Very popular in your neck of the woods. But it's also important to match the proper bottom paint to your environment. It sounds as if this vessel is kept in a pretty challenging area. Odyssey Triton may and probably will outperform Vivid in this instance for sure. So I hope that answers your question. Odyssey Triton does come in white and would be an upgrade. Seth from Annapolis, Maryland. What prep is needed to put a Trinidad product over in ablatives such as Micron Extra or Pettit Odyssey? Seth, it's a really great question and a very common one. So anytime you're going over an ablative with a hard paint, you really got to do one of two things. You either have to strip it completely down or apply 2 coats of our Tie Coat Primer 6627 before applying a hard paint due to the dissimilar paint films. An ablative will do exactly what it's designed to do. It will ablate and try to shed off the hard paint. Okay? So you either have to remove it or apply the tie coat to really lock it up so it can't shed the hard paint from over the top. Okay? So that answers that question. Craig G, which Pettit bottom paint would you suggest for freshwater? Craig, I like to use our Hydrocoat for freshwater. It's a nice, durable coating with a good biocide level, and it's very nice to apply because it cleans up with soap and water. So I'd recommend Hydrocoat. PH from Chagrin Falls, Ohio. Is your non-skid off-white the same exact color as Pettit Easy Epoxy 3108 off-white? Yes, both 3108 and 3128, which is the Easy Dex off-white, are the identical color. We purposefully did that so that the decks match whenever you're doing this project. So yes, so they're exactly the same color. Richard from Warwick, Rhode Island, do you have a water-based ablative? Actually, yes. That's called our Hydrocoat paints, which we talked about lightly earlier. We have two different options. We have our original Hydrocoat, which has a hefty 40% copper load, and we also have our dual biocide copper-free Hydrocoat Eco. Depending on your vessel and where you boat, there are benefits to each. But seeing you're from Warwick, Rhode Island, our original Hydrocoat is a very popular coating up there. If you like the color black, the part number is 1840. John C. from Hummelstown, Pennsylvania. How many coats or how many times can I recoat bottom paint before I should remove and start all over? So this is a very similar question to what Lawrence, I believe, asked earlier. Again, it depends on the coating. Hard paints hang on longer, usually about 20 to 25 mils of dry film thickness, which is about 6 to 8 coats of paint. And then ablatives, again, more sensitive, 15 to 20 mils of paint, or 3 to 5, maybe 6 coats of paint, depending on the coating. Dennis from Virginia. Where's the best paint to keep scum off the bottom on the upper Potomac River? Well, I'm pretty familiar with the Potomac, and there's some of the worst fouling I've ever seen up there. I've always recommended for the area our Odyssey Triton. If you're using a hard paint now, you could also consider our Trinidad XSR, but what you want for that area is definitely our triple biocide bottom paints. No name on this one, just Milford, Connecticut. What is the best bottom paint for use on my fiberglass bottom boat docked in the Housatonic River and cruises in Long Island Sound? So up in that area, a lot of folks have started using our Odyssey HD and have been extremely happy with the results. It has a very high copper load of almost 46%, carries our 18-month HD Hull Defense Limited Warranty. I think you really like it. Comes in 5 colors, black, blue, red, green, and also dark blue. Next up, Joel K. from Mansville, Ohio. What product should I use on my stainless steel props while docked in Lake Erie? So, great question. I'd suggest our Prop Coat. Prop Coat barnacle barrier comes in a 20-ounce aerosol. We have excellent results up in the Great Lakes, pretty much everywhere. It's a great product. It's affordably priced, so I'd recommend this for Lake Erie. Kenneth from Louisville, Kentucky. I painted the top of my houseboat last fall and had lots of spots peeling off this spring. This is what I did. I cleaned the whole top with acetone and then sanded the whole top with 80 grit sandpaper. I then rinsed the top off with water and used acetone to clean top again. I put 1 coat of Easy Prime on and waited until the next afternoon and lightly sanded with 120 grit sandpaper. After cleaning with acetone again, I put the first coat of Easy Epoxy 3106 topside paint on it. The following day, I lightly sanded the top with 120 grit sandpaper and then cleaned again with acetone. I then applied a second coat of Easy Epoxy topside paint. It looked great, and I was very pleased. My question is, where did I go wrong? Because it sounds like he had some flaking. So, unfortunately, we hear this issue kind of often. And it certainly relates to the use of acetone. Acetone is an unregulated solvent, meaning that there's really no QC requirements it has to pass, hence it being a very inexpensive solvent. So to give you an example of this, I'm sure you've all done this. Anytime you wipe acetone on a piece of metal, say like a trim tab or something like that, that ghost haze left behind are all the contaminants left from the solvent. So that's all the contamination that you're adding to the surface. Now, here's the other issue with acetone. It evaporates extremely quickly. So it does a really poor job actually removing contamination from the surface. It just winds up moving the contamination elsewhere. So we never recommend acetone for any projects around the boat except for fiberglass, like doing some epoxy work, like mixing and application, something like that. The proper products to use in this situation would either be our 92 Bio Blue Hull Surface Prep or our 95 Dewaxer if you prefer a solvent-based product. So never use acetone when you're doing any type of prep for paint. Okay, so that goes over our questions. Boy, that was a lot. So I want to thank you all for your time. if you have any questions that didn't get covered today, you could always call our technical department at 800-221-4466 or email us at technicalservice@pettitpaint.com. Now, Jimmy, do we have any questions that popped up in the stream? So the question was, someone purchased a used boat, and they're trying to tell what is on the vessel. So to tell if it's a hard or ablative for the bottom paint, what you're going to want to do is wet an area, keep it wet for a couple minutes, and then try to wipe it with your thumb. If it comes off easily and you get a bunch of color onto your thumb, that most likely is an ablative because it's sloughing, it's ablating, it's wearing away like a bar of soap. Now, if you wet the area really well and you rub it and it doesn't come off, more likely than not, it's a hard paint. Now, that's not always 100% accurate. Now, there are some very durable ablatives on the market, and there have been throughout the years. Now, to be 100% safe, if you have a used boat and you don't know the history, what I would do is I'd recommend scuff sanding it with 80 grit, putting at least one coat, if not two coats of our 6627 tie coat primer on there, and then putting bottom paint over top. That way that tie coat primer will lock up whatever's on the bottom and ensure that you've got a great substrate to apply paint to. Great, I think that's it, right, Jimmy? Well, let's move over to giving away some prizes, because this is what we always do on our live stream. So what we're going to start off with is we just randomly picked 4 or 5 people and based on their questions, and we're going to take care of them. So Kaylee had a great question about Pettit Tough Coat. So Kaylee H, if you're watching this, which I hope you are, shoot us a private message. Let us know what Tough Coat project you're working on. Let us know what color you're working on, and we'll send you a gallon at no charge. Thanks for asking a question. Next up is Joel K. I think Joel had that Hydrocoat vessel that had the growth on the metals, and he was unhappy with what happened there. Joel, if you wouldn't mind, shoot us your address via private message, not through the old chat there. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and take care of you. We're going to send you a kit of Prop Coat Barnacle Barrier for free. Running Gear Guardian for free. So reach out to us and let us know. We'll take care of you. Cassandra W. I think you had a question regarding AnchorTech. So yes, that was for your drain plug. Cassandra, shoot us a private message with your address, and we'll send you a cartridge of our AnchorTech Premium Fast Drive for free. Last, Brooks. I think, Brooks, you had another issue with your underwater metals. We're going to do the same thing for you. Private message us your address, and we will send you a kit of Running Gear Guardian for free. So there you have it. We gave away, I don't know, geez, probably about $1,000 worth of free stuff. Thank you all for joining and tuning in today. Any additional questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. You can always email us, marketing@pettitpaint.com. You can always email us at technicalservice@pettitpaint.com. This wraps up our presentation. Happy Halloween, and thank you again for tuning in. Take care.